Hello, everybody. Kirk Brown here. What's going on this week? Hey, just wanted to welcome you back to another live show of Captain Kirk Talking Real Estate. And so I just want to remind you, if you're watching on YouTube and this is a re-recording, or if this is a recorded version you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Trying to build our channel here, and would love to put out more videos so you guys can see that. And you'll get a little notification if we actually shoot another video. So we'll be live every week, and then of course we'll record it if you perhaps missed the live broadcast. So, but yeah, it's awesome to be back, and a lot of good feedback last week for people that I saw, and they enjoyed the information I did give on the market analysis out there in Youngsville. And again, I've had some requests for the whole parish, and some investors have called wanting to find out more about, a little bit broad, the north side and the south side specifically. And so I'd love to do that. And I've had some people call me about neighborhoods and see what's going on there. So, yeah, love to talk to anybody that's out there looking to buy or sell. I'm your guy. I'd love to help you. And but I'm doing this for to kind of help get the information out to the community and see if we can help some folks. And today's a pretty cool show. I've really had fun helping a lot of new home buyers and over the years, and I tell you, it's a very fulfilling and satisfied feeling knowing that you've helped somebody buy their first home. You know, they're so excited, and they love getting the knowledge. They're like a sponge, so I love doing that and helping people. And so today I'm going to do a version on how to buy your first home and what are some of the tips to do that, and some of the do's and don'ts, and maybe the process in which you go about doing that. And I didn't know this, but most of the people I run into that are first-time home buyers, even with all the internet and all the research that is at their fingertips, a lot of them just don't know what to do. So I'm hoping that, a live broadcast or a video, can help reach some of those people. And maybe you guys will share it with some people who are maybe looking. And of course, anywhere in the country, so this can be helpful. So it's not specific to my area, but specific to first-time home buyers. And the process is simple only if you know what you're doing and you're getting some good direction. And so, of course, I can help you do that, or find a realtor that you trust and that that can actually get you the right information and help direct you in the right help you go in the right direction, so you don't fumble around and waste time. So let's get right to it. And I wanted to say that sometimes let's talk about the first time home buyer. So the first time home buyer is looking for a price category maybe, and maybe not necessarily school systems or school zones or that kind of thing. But, little things are important to them, like where's the pharmacy, where's the grocery store, how far do I have to drive to work? Well, the cool thing about it is that, those are all great things because those are part of the information today that I'm going to give out. But you also want to know what, maybe a projection of what maybe the market's going to do in 5 years. And again, I'm not Nostradamus, but, we at least want to look at some resale values, and you want to have what I like to call as a 5-year or an exit strategy, because we know that the numbers come in from the National Association of Realtors that tell us about what the average person is going to stay in a home for. So in terms of years. So most of the time it's between 5 and 7 years. So when you take and you add into that formula the first time home buyer, how much is their life going to change in 5 or 6 years or 7 years? And let's talk about somebody 26 or 27 getting their first home, or even a little bit younger, or even up to 30. Well, their life is going to change quite a bit. If you are recently married, you buy a house. It kind of goes in sequential order there. So you get married, you buy a house, and all of a sudden within 5 years, guess what? You have a little family. Now you've grown from just a small having a small home. Now you're outgrown your home and you're looking at having another baby. So that's when we talk about exit strategy. We talk about having maybe a 5-year plan to look at. And just like your goals in your company and your personal entrepreneurial goals and your job and your careers, and basically try to find something in a home that won't hold you captive in 5 to 7 years. Now, there's a way to go about doing that. And if you have questions about how that works and you've got a son or daughter or somebody that's looking to buy, you can PM me, private message me, or you can shoot me an email, and I'd be glad to point them in the right direction and, of course, help them take that next step. And so, having that exit strategy is going to be important. And how you go about doing it is finding out what these people are doing in their careers and what the buyers are doing, why they're wanting to buy their first home. So if you were like me, I moved away 20 years ago, and I moved back, I guess maybe 10 years ago with my family. And, so I came back into the market and started. I was a new home buyer in the Lafayette area also just less than 10 years ago. So, it's something to think about, but make sure you find somebody who can kind of help you through this process. And, being a realtor to me sometimes is not necessarily about, showing the house and doing all these other things, but helping these people get new home buyers and people who are buying their last home on the backside in their 60s or later, looking for something to downsize to. So I specialize in those areas, and I love doing that. And but like I said, it's more than just being a realtor showing the house. It's really taking all those things into account. So, but what you want to do, and let's get right to it here. It says, the resale value, have an exit strategy, or a 5-year plan. Look at the school systems, look at the pharmacies. Is the church that you go to or attend, how do you function every day? Go through the actual your daily routine and find out if this home is conducive to what you do on a regular basis and how you function. If on the weekends you're traveling to certain areas and doing whatever, that's fine. But during the week, Monday through Friday, you're going to work. How is that traffic? I've had people go and drive traffic on a Monday morning, the worst day possible, to their jobs to see if it was 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because they love the house. So those are some of the things that I would definitely look at doing. And please don't, shy away from that, because that's going to be a big deal to this process. Because if you find the wrong place, then you're going to regret it, because it's hard to get rid of a house, that quickly. So find a knowledgeable realtor to set up a search for you in the area of interest. So basically what we do is we would take, a certain zip code, we take a certain city or school district, and we hone in on that, and a price range. We hone in on that and try to find you homes that we think would be conducive to your lifestyle. Now, there's a bunch of ways to do that, and we set up an automated system, which means that every time a house hits the market in a certain price range in a certain area or your search criteria, then an automated email will come out to you automatically. It could be at 2 in the morning or whatever, but you're usually first to know. So when it hits the market and it's fresh, you'll be the first to know. So, and the second thing that is extremely important is in that process and in that order, once you find those things, you want to find you a lender or a bank that you can trust, that will also walk you through the process. One that's touchable, one that you already bank with, or one that maybe you can be recommended through friends and family. And by doing that, you find a lender that will understand what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And, one of the things I found, I was with somebody maybe a couple years ago, and we were looking at a certain price range, and the price range was wrong. And so we kept talking about the bank, and they didn't want to talk to the bank just yet. And, they didn't think they would qualify and all these other things. So I showed them homes, and I enjoyed the relationship. And I'm glad I did, because it ended up, we ended up finding a beautiful home. But knowing what the price range is more than just saying I want an $800 payment, because there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not a lender. I don't want to really discuss it right here. I'm going to bring a lender in so we can discuss that and talk you through the pre-qualification process. So what happens is when you go to a lender and you find out what it is that you're looking for, they're first going to run your credit and then something called DTI as debt to income ratio and kind of find out more about you financially. And once that happens, it can give us a range of house that you can afford based on your income. And we can also go down. So if that price is $180,000 or $250,000 based on your income, and you're like, wow, I can afford to do that, then we would look at a range of 220 to 250. And we could buy one at 200, but at least we know that the limit or the top of your budget. So all we're trying to do is find out what budget that is that will actually work for you and your family, something that's comfortable. And let me just say this, make sure you find, just because you can afford it, make sure you take into account that this is a 30-year mortgage in most cases and that it is a serious commitment. It's the American dream and it's a great feeling, but it's by far one of the biggest investments you'll ever make. So get a guy, a realtor, a person, a professional, a lender that knows this process and to help you through that, because you can make some mistakes along the way. But you definitely want to have that professional in your pocket. So once we find out the price range and the area you want to be in, you get the automated emails. We're working with a lender on the backside to find out what it is that you're doing. Now, you will be given what they call a pre-qualification letter or a pre-approval. And there's differences in those, but at least it gives me an idea on the preliminary checks based on your income and your debts on about what you can afford and where your credit is. So in saying all of that, once we get through that process, you now know your price range, and now we can go and start looking at homes effectively. Okay. Like I said, a couple of years ago, the people were looking at a home in and around 200,000, but really for what they could afford and what they were renting was about 225,000. And so we found something right in the middle. So it was a comfort level there. So, but we would have never found that home that they love at 215 had we been looking under 200. Okay. So we were able to find that out through the lenders and through the qualification stages. So, make sure the area has all that you need to function like we talked about. Also, if you do have kids, and say you have a kid that's 5, 6 years old, he's involved in activities and the rec center and plays ball and soccer and all those things, make sure that, those things are, easy to get to. Make sure that you're part of those things in the community. And because these are the things that helps, you like the area more, because you have access to things that your kids can do, and you don't want to have to drive 30 minutes to get there and so forth. So the grocery stores, the pharmacy, the doctor's office, kids programs, rec centers, and of course restaurants, places to eat. So in Youngsville, we're obviously growing and lots of homes being built and lots of homes, people wanting to move into that area. And the restaurants just can't come quick enough. In fact, I can't wait till we get some more restaurants, and we've got some great ones right now, but it's coming. So, again, drive the route in the morning. So if you're going to work and you're going, to the north side, make sure you can make that route. I would leave early in the morning, go to the house you want to buy that you've honed in on, and go drive that route from work and go look at it in the evenings to see, if the neighborhood is what you're looking for. So, so those are some of the key points that I would be looking for. As I promised, I talked about some do's and don'ts, and I'll go through those one by one just to make sure that there are certain things that you should not be doing in this process. And hopefully you get a good realtor and a good lender and a good team of people around you, and they can help direct you and eliminate some of these mistakes. But the do's, okay, so do your research on the area or the neighborhood. Know where you're moving to. I've actually knocked on doors. So we're looking at 123 Main Street. We went to 124 Main Street, knocked on the door, asked them about the neighborhood, and I let the client talk to the neighbors and asked, about, how is it around here? Is it easy to get to certain places and, different things. And, when the flood happened in August 2016, of course, a lot of people want to know if the house flooded, right? So, or ever. Flooded or took on water. So a lot of times we're asking neighbors those things. And of course, we let the client talk to the neighbors. And but anyway, so, know the area, do your research on the neighborhood. Also, have and gather all of your documents, okay, like W-2s, your 2 to 3 year tax returns. And look, I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people out there that have moved quite a bit. I'm one of them. But, you don't know where your tax returns are. You don't know where this is and whatever. But, make sure if you use a CPA or another little retail shop that does your taxes, make sure you have copies of all those things because they're going to want that. And also your bank account information, such as probably 6 months of bank statements to prove that, your income was going in at the same level that you reported. So the other thing is know your credit score. Right now, there's some actual some free places. I got freecreditscore.com you can go to, but I think your lender can help point you in the right direction there too. And then, there's programs for everybody. So basically, if it's a government loan or conventional loan or whatever, your lender can go through all of those things. And some of them require different credit scores. Okay. Now, let's say that your credit score maybe is less than subpar and say that's 620 or, 580, somewhere in that range. You may not qualify for some programs. Okay. But you do qualify for one or two. So the lender can kind of say, okay, look, you're at this credit score, your beacon score is this, and we're going to need you to get it up to this, or you can't buy a house, or you can only do this program. If you don't have enough down payment, then you would want to wait for one of these other programs. They can also talk you through credit counseling and point you in the right direction on where to get that. I took a phone call last month where a guy's been working for 3 months on bettering his credit, and his credit jumped up 60 points. I don't know who he used. I can't vouch for it. All I can tell you is that we're actually under contract on a house, and he couldn't buy it 90 days prior. So there's, getting and finding the right lender, the right realtor, and the right person that has all the knowledge to help you get where you need to be in this process. It's a good thing, but it could cost you money by not having the right team, or you could get bad information. So I'm good about saying, hey, if I don't have the right information, if I don't have the answer for you, I'll make sure I find it and I'll call you back. But today I don't have the answer, but I will find out. And that's what the relationship is all about, right? Helping families, get to that next point. So, but yeah, the debts and the payoff amounts on some of your stuff, just because you owe $300 on a Sears card doesn't mean you go out and pay the $300 to pay it off. Let's wait to find out what the lender tells you. And by the way, I've had this happen to me before, and it did not return a bad result. But okay, so you go under contract, and now you know that you need a washer and a dryer, a refrigerator, and you need some other appliances out there. Oh, I need some bedroom, a bedroom suite. I need a new king bedroom suite. I'm going to go out, and they got 24 months free financing down the road at the local furniture store, and we're going to go do that. So we won't have to spend our down payment money. I'm going to tell you right now, it happened to me once before. It turned out good, but it backed us up another week or two in closing because they had to rerun everything with the debt to income ratio. So I'm telling you, do not, if you go under contract or any time before you start this process, do not go out and start buying appliances or a brand new car or, large items that would count against you, like a $40,000, $50,000 vehicle, $700 payment. Well, that $700 payment is going to go against you and potentially hinder you from buying your house until your income can get up to offset that. So again, we'll talk to a lender and talk more about that in detail. So do not go out and buy things and take on new debt, whether it be a new gas card or anything that's going to hinder that that process. So, you know, I think the main thing here is to, when you start this process, open up to your realtor and say, listen, we've never bought a home. We don't really know what's involved. Can you help us? And I've sold every one of those people who have ever asked me that a home, because even if it takes a year, and then I've had people call me back after a year that has their credit right and all these other things in order and have a better job or whatever. Those are the great moments. But find somebody that has some patience that can help you through the process, so you know what you're getting yourself into. So we're going to find the right house. That's the easy part. I mean, anybody can do that. You don't even have to be a licensed realtor to find somebody the right house, right? But to be good at it and to help people through the steps, and so they're successful at buying the American dream and buying their first home. That's what's important. So, but I just wanted to shoot out a little another live show today, and as we grow our audience, I'm going to continue to push these out and get you some more great information. I'd love your feedback, and if you have anything that you'd love for me to talk about, I'd love to do that, whether it be a home evaluation or home valuation, and you're thinking about selling, you want to know what the market's like, I want to help you. Of course, anything that if you're an investor and you're looking to flip homes and that kind of thing, I do work with investors too, and would love to help you in that process. So, this is Kirk Brown, and I love helping the Lafayette community find home, and I would love to help you. So, as always, you know how to get in touch with me, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, and that would help me. That'd be great. I'd love to get to a billion, like my son says, a billion views on my YouTube. So, as always, in the end, it's Captain Kirk doing work. We'll talk to y'all next week.